Well, hello there. How's it going? Tim Warner here, and I'm going to help you differentiate the three main paths in using agents with the Microsoft 365 technology stack. Now, this is all subject to change, but I think I've got a pretty firm grasp on it. If anybody in the audience, if any of you knows better, maybe you're from Microsoft, I strongly encourage you to please leave a comment because I want to be equipped with the truth here. Well, let's start this discussion with a little bit of level setting. What exactly is an agent in the field of generative AI software development today? Well, again, I tell the joke that if you ask 5 IT pros, you'll get 10 different responses. But let's go with that an agent is a piece of software, an AI application that acts not just for answering, that is chatting with, an intelligent chatbot, but can actually execute multi-step tasks for you autonomously. Think of it as a background process, okay? Another hallmark of the agent is that it connects to your data and systems like knowledge bases, APIs, enterprise tools. This is where Model Context Protocol can fit in. But you know that in M365, we also have that vast proprietary connector library that we use with Power Automate, Logic apps, and so forth. Another thing that's important about agents is that in addition to interactive chat activity with users, they can be triggered by events or conversation. So they're much more flexible than chatbots of yore, is what I'm trying to say. So we've normally got an LLM, a large language model, serving as the brain. We've got some orchestration layer, which Microsoft takes care of for us, I should say, with their Copilot ecosystem. We'll normally need some knowledge, uploaded documents, RAG sources, etc., and we need some memory for state persistence and stuff like that. All right, here's the whole point that I'm driving home. When we're looking at agent development in Microsoft 365, there's three main paths. One, no code. And this would be the empowered citizen developer or the business information worker who's maybe a little bit tech savvy, but really knows little to nothing about programming. There in M365 Copilot Chat, you can build what Microsoft unfortunately calls agents. I don't know at this point, I'm recording this on the 28th of November, 2025. I wouldn't call them anywhere near as fully featured to qualify as agents, but whatever. So that's the option, and I'll show you a couple screenshots. We don't have the time in these short lessons to do full demos. Let me know if you'd like that, though, in the comments. The low-code option, again, you don't have to be a programmer here, but you've got maybe a little bit more tech skills. Maybe you're a maker and you've played with Raspberry Pi and Plex Media Server, and you've done a little bit of work with code, but you're not a full-on developer. This is Microsoft Copilot Studio agents. Now, these are true agents where you can have one parent agent call multiple sub-agents that work in parallel. We've got full access to MCP and proprietary connector space. They're pretty cool. Microsoft has been putting a lot of money, time, and effort into Copilot Studio. And then, of course, the code-first approach. This is where you're using software development kits or SDKs for a particular tech stack and language. This is Microsoft Foundry, which is going to require a Microsoft Azure subscription. And Foundry ties in with not just M365, but Microsoft Graph, which is the identity framework for everything, and Azure Resource Manager, which is where you'll have your Foundry resource, your hub, your projects, and so on. All right, as I said, I wanted to show some screenshots so we could translate this theory into practice at least a little bit. I'm going to also do this via whiteboarding. In terms of the no-code option for agents, these really aren't agents. We can see in M365 Copilot Chat, we can either chat with GPT-4 or GPT-5 off the shelf. We can attach context in the Microsoft Graph on the work page. And we have some off-the-shelf agents that Microsoft gives you. They have a researcher, they have an analyst. I want you to think of agents as AIs that are generally speaking, special purpose. In my line of work, I would want an agent that's really good at fact-checking technical writing, another agent that's great at linting and debugging. You see what I mean? So special purpose. These agents in M365, I would call almost project purpose. You can share them with your colleagues, and they can show up in the Office applications, which is good, but they're nowhere near as fully functional as the Copilot agents or the Foundry agents. This is a screenshot of the behind the scenes. When you go to create a new agent in M365 Copilot, it looks an awful lot like OpenAI's custom GPTs. That's really, honestly, how I classify M365 Copilot agents. If you know what a custom GPT is, you know what one of these is. So you've got your icon and your name, of course. You've got your custom instructions. You've got your RAG, your Retrieval Augmented Generation knowledge sources. And you can share it throughout the MS Graph. And what's particularly convenient about the M365 Copilot agents is that you surface them directly in the application. So in this screenshot, let me call it out with my whiteboarding tool. I created a JavaScript AI tutor agent. I published it to my org. And now in MS Word, I prompted, give me a 2-page basic tutorial on creating a MCP server with JavaScript. And notice that the agent who responded is the JavaScript AI tutor. Now, I specifically requested to chat with that tutor. A truly agentic software doesn't require as much hand-holding. At least that's the promise. But anyway, you getting what are you picking up what I'm throwing down so far? Let's go further into it now, where we've got, instead of no code, a low-code solution. Now, whereas M365 Copilot is going to require a license for M365 Copilot, that does not give you access to Copilot Studio, even though, let me back up a couple slides. You might have noticed, if you have sharp eyes, that in M365 Copilot, notice when you create an agent, it says Copilot Studio. That's really confusing. Microsoft folks that I know anyway call this experience Copilot Studio Lite because it's part of your M365 Copilot license. You're going to need a separate license for the full Copilot Studio. And Copilot Studio is at a separate URL, copilotstudio.microsoft.com, all right? And as you can see here, I've created an agent called Azure Article Writer. See all these tabs across the top? This gives you a hint of their breadth and depth. Tools allows you to tap into the Microsoft connector space as well as Model Context Protocol. Agents means we can link this article writer. I might have a separate agent that's really good at research. So I could start a chat with my article writer and say, go ahead and research blah, blah, blah. And it would invoke the sub-agent. The sub-agent has its own context length, its own life cycle. It sends the results up to my parent chat, which I could test over here on the right. Isn't that awesome? Notice you can get into some of the micromanagement stuff and structure topics and flows. That's historically how we did chatbots with Power Virtual Agents and so on. And then we've got channels, which are our publication destinations. Oh, I don't want to forget about tools. Did I already mention tools? I think I did. Another point here that's heavily emphasized is observability. There's lots in terms of analytics, and governance is one of the biggest advantages I think Microsoft has in this ecosystem, the ability to report on what everybody's doing with agents, and not only that, to report on how they're being used. That's actually a really big deal. This is showing the channels page in Copilot Studio, and I want to show you that whereas the M365 Copilots are essentially air-gapped into either M365 Copilot Chat or your applications, including Teams. When you're in Copilot Studio, you have a much wider selection of target publication channels, including web app embeds, native app embeds, let's see, Slack, Twilio. There's lots of third-party support in addition to what we would expect, SharePoint, Teams, Microsoft 365 Copilot. You got it? All right, so lastly, the code-first approach, which gives you all achievements unlocked, but at the expense of you having to understand a lot of software and solutions architecture plumbing, we have the Microsoft Foundry agent. Now, this, you create your resource in your Azure subscription. So, I mean, there's plenty of dependencies going on here. This screenshot is showing the Foundry portal, ai.azure.com. And as you can see, we've got an endpoint URI, a project API key, although we can use Entra ID as well. And we've got a region. We need to think in terms of regions when we're in Azure. We've got the ability to use all sorts of not just off-the-shelf LLMs, but you can actually own your whole LLM lifecycle with Foundry, and you can fine-tune it as well as add RAG sources. But again, it's going to be a question of you doing the actual work on the dev desk in the inner loop using a software development kit. There is a graphical playground, and there are some GUI ornamentations in the Foundry portal. Actually, you can do quite a bit, come to think of it, including fine-tuning jobs and lots of analytics all within the portal. But again, this really is going to require skilled development staff, say that 5 times quickly, in order to navigate. And here is an image of when you've created an agent in Foundry where it's visible in the portal. You've got the Foundry resource, and then you've got projects within it, as you can see. I created an agent called Test Agent. And notice we've got a graphical playground where we can swap in or out different LLMs for testing. We've got custom instructions. Again, tools that involve MCP connections as well as M365 connector space connections. You've got grounded responses in RAG knowledge. You've got memory. You've got lots in terms of guardrails and protecting your agent against abuse. Again, big props to Microsoft. They are doing some terrific work here in Foundry and in Copilot Studio in particular. It's a question, though, of you surrendering to them. Normally, I happen to be a bit suspicious of a walled garden. Don't get me started talking about Apple, for example. But this is a case where, although you can use different LLMs, you are in a walled garden. You're in the M365 walled garden, but it's actually, the water's pretty warm. And despite Microsoft's annoying tendency to rename and rebrand and do breaking API changes, it's actually shaping up to be quite a usable service, really. Now, in terms of wrapping up, what do you want to take away from this lesson? I would suggest that you start low code and graduate into Foundry only when needed, when you've got more enterprise class concerns. Why do I say be careful? Well, 2 reasons. One, these architectures, the no code, low code, and code first agent mechanisms, they're not competing against each other, they're layers. You can build one on the other or one to extend the other. Well, let me qualify that a little bit. The M365 agents are pretty well self-contained, but at least in terms of Copilot Studio and Foundry, they're definitely interchangeable to a large degree. So it's not either or. The biggest point, and I want to leave you with this, is that governance and visibility is critical, especially given that MCP as a spec still has quite a few weaknesses in the security space. So governance is a huge potential for shadow IT, where you've got groups and silos in your organization doing cool things with agents. And unless you have a unified governance lens to be able to report and track this stuff, this could be a bad day for your enterprise, and I don't want that. So M365 is doing a good job with that, and that might be actually a call out for you to look into some of the MS class and AB class certifications from Microsoft to force you and your team into learning more about M365 governance. Okay, well, this video has gone on long enough. I hope that you picked up some new stuff and that you're at a better position now understanding the M365 agents ecosystem. All the best to you. I'll see you again.